Okay, hello and welcome back. Today is Tuesday and I am folding some laundry, and I thought it was the perfect time to pull out the camera and just have a chat. So join me, won't you? While we chat about something. I was sitting there thinking, what can I chat about today? And one thing that I have thought about recently is the fact that over the years I have gotten a lot better at not needing answers for everything in my life. And there's particular areas that really applies to. So I feel like when I was young, I really needed answers on what my life was going to look like what I was going to take in school, like just everything. I just needed to plan it out in my head so that I kind of had direction and goals, which is a good thing. But I don't know. I feel like a lot of it was really rooted in probably anxiety, to be honest. So I have found over the years, I have been getting a lot better at letting go of certain things and not needing to know the answers to everything, which is really helpful. So one way is in knowing things about myself. So really trying to figure myself out and what makes me tick and my personality types and all of those sorts of things. I studied a lot of psychology over the years when I was in university, and I really enjoy that. And sometimes I think I should have really pursued that area of studies, but I kind of went biology direction instead. But yeah, it was really good and interesting. But it can kind of get you really analyzing yourself a little too much. And one thing that I noticed recently is that I am being fed a lot of information when I go online about perimenopause. And I know I have friends, we're all like 50, and I don't know, it's just a very hot topic of conversation, I would say. And so sometimes I found myself wondering, like, if things come up, like certain things I'm noticing in my body or thoughts I'm having, things like that, I kind of put it back on, I wonder if this is like perimenopause. And I have decided recently to not overanalyze that I don't need to know if I'm in perimenopause or when it's happening or what symptoms I'm going to have, and that I will deal with things as they come. Now, in saying that, of course, I want to make sure that I am, going to the doctor and being screened for certain things and all of that. It's very important that I do that. But otherwise, I feel pretty good. I actually feel really good. I think I feel better now in my 50s than I did in my 40s. And so I'm really leaning into that and trusting that everything is good and that I just need to relax. Just relax, enjoy the season that you're in, and don't rush things. So that is one way that I have noticed it. Probably the most important way that I have noticed that I have let go of needing answers for things is in regards to parenting. And parenting, I could do so many videos on parenting. I mean, it has changed me in so many ways. And I think it's just that universal thing that people who are parents can relate to, where it's such a journey and you change so much, and you don't know what you're doing, and every child is different. And so parenting one child can look totally different to even parenting your second child or your third child. I can't imagine the people that have like 6 kids, and I'm thinking, how in the world do you parent them all effectively? And I'm sure that they get into a rhythm and a groove and probably know a lot more than I do because I only have 2. But I feel like the earlier that you can let go of needing the answers to everything, the better. So I have really just not worried about the future a lot with my kids and really try to enjoy the moment that they're in right now. So I'm not, for instance, worried, like with Wes, I'm not worried about, I know a lot of parents talk about how are our kids going to survive in the world that we live in right now. It's so expensive and it's so hard to establish yourself, and finding jobs. Oh my goodness, yes. People talk about that because jobs are changing, and how will they ever figure out what they're going to do? And then what if they pick a career and then that career becomes obsolete? And as you can see, that can make you go a little bit crazy. And I want to not stress about that because a lot of those things you can't control, right? And so I feel like I'm more worried about giving my kids the experience that they need in order to be resilient, compassionate, kind, things like that, and that all of the other stuff will fall into place. And this is for other parents who maybe have children with disabilities or special needs. We can really, really get into a rabbit hole worrying about the future. When you have nobody to turn to that you can look to and say, oh, how did they navigate this, or how did it turn out for them? I feel like it's so different for every family, and there is absolutely no way in the world that we can figure out what Will's future is going to look like. I honestly have no clue. But what I will tell you is that I don't want to be 10, 20 years from now and regret not just enjoying the stage that he's in right now. He's 15. He is an absolute joy, and he is a happy guy. He is very different to any other person I've ever met in my whole entire life. And I am just really celebrating who he is and really just enjoying that. And so, I don't want to worry about a future and end up missing who he is right now. So that's really important to me. And I found that that's been really on my mind a lot. The other thing that has happened recently is that I kind of talked about coming back to creativity as well, but not needing answers as to what sort of creative endeavors I want to pursue, and just letting myself enjoy what I get up to. And so some of that has to do with this YouTube channel and just sort of talking about what's on my mind, not necessarily any particular direction or anything like that, and just kind of seeing where it goes. I have faith that it'll become more clear to me the longer that I do it. I will tell you, so years ago, we got a digital SLR camera. This would have been in 2004. So digital SLR cameras were not very common back then. And I was so excited to get this camera and to learn how to take it. And the reason I was so excited is that Courtney and I were engaged, and I knew that we wanted children right away. I was so excited to be a mom. That is, without a doubt, the most important thing that I wanted to do in life, was to be a mom. And for some reason, I just loved photography. I was never a photographer growing up. I didn't have anybody in my life who was a photographer, so I didn't ever have the opportunity to learn film photography or anything like that. But I knew that I loved it, and I knew that once we had kids, I wanted really nice photos of them. And so I got this digital SLR camera and I started learning and teaching myself. And then my husband and I had 5 years of infertility where there were no babies. And it was hard because all of my friends were having babies and starting their families. And it's like you feel like you're, not that they meant to at all, and not that I meant to, but you feel like you're in this race that everyone else has started on, and they've taken off, and you're still at the starting line. And you just feel like you're getting further and further away from them. And so it can feel very isolating. But what I will say is that I took that opportunity, instead of wallowing and being sad, I took the opportunity and I actually started photographing their babies. And one thing led to another, and I just ended up having a lot of people I didn't know, strangers, asking me to photograph their babies. And it ended up being this career that I had for a period of time that was so wonderful. Like it just filled me up so much. I loved baby photography, and it was just a very special time in my life. I ended up meeting some of my best friends that I never would have ever met had it not been for photography. So what I'm saying is that sometimes when you think that you want answers to certain things as to like, well, why is this happening? Or if I choose to do this, like go down this path, like what will happen and what will my future look like? And is it worth it to do it? All of these sorts of questions. And sometimes you don't know the answer to things until you can reflect back on them and almost look retrospectively at your life and go, oh, like that's why that happened. And it's so beautiful how everything kind of like falls into place, almost like a puzzle. And that is what I'm trying to remember going forward, is that I may not know what is going to happen or why things are happening, but it will all feel like it was meant to be at some point. And so, yeah, it just gives me a lot of comfort to feel that way. And I don't know, I was just thinking of that today and thought I would like to share that with you guys as well. It is another snow day here. And so I am doing the Lego set and trying to do some tasks around the house at the same time when I have a chance as well. So I just thought I needed to get this laundry folded and thought it would be a good opportunity to just chat for a minute. So anyway, I thank you. If you have stuck around this long to hear all this video, then I know that you are my kind of person. So thank you so much. And I just really appreciate everyone who has been tuning in. And I will be back again very soon. Bye.